people of the internet, friends, how's it going? It's Saturday. What's the date? Maybe the 25th of April? Oh, Stella's here. And I can't grab her holding my coffee at the same time. Hold on. I just thought I'd sit and chat with you all. Ooh. Hey, Stella. It's been a while since I've done a little check-in, so there's been a lot happening. I'm in my new house, which I am extremely happy about. I'm in my studio at the moment, slash guest space, and just had a nice walk down the street to get the coffee. And yeah, so I just wanted to say hey and catch you up to speed on what's been happening in my life, and so on and so forth. So if you follow me on Instagram, I posted yesterday about a situation where I discovered that the property management company I've been working with at my apartment, which I moved out of in March, well, they are very nefarious and do a lot of criminal, illegal, fraudulent type of things. And for the past month, I have been trying to facilitate this couple taking over my lease at my apartment. And it was just a very frustrating situation where the couple provided everything that one would when applying for an apartment. They did everything that they were told to do, and for no particular reason, this company it never was resolved. And they were trying to get me to pay 3 months rent to get out of the lease when I let them know in February that I was moving out. And for the past several weeks now, I've been trying to chase people down and talk to people from the company to get a clear answer and to just, see this process through. But fortunately, when I was, on and off the phone with numerous people yesterday, you can never talk to the same person twice. Nobody has a direct phone number. It's all just as convoluted as it could possibly be. So I was feeling frustrated. The person I had been working with pretty much this whole time was not returning my calls. And, this couple that was applying to live in my place, like, they need a place to live. Like, I don't want to pay rent in May, And so she's ignoring me, this person I'd been working with. And so I think, okay, well, maybe if I go on Google and leave like a scathing review, that will give them some motivation to do the work they said that they would do a long time ago. And so I left a bad review, and then I scrolled down a little bit and I noticed that there was a whole Reddit page dedicated to this company, Evernest. And a former employee basically came out and said, well, I have some potential blackmail, essentially, that this company makes all the tenants' private information, like social security numbers, banking information, like that's accessible to anyone. Stella behind me. And they have like an outsourced company in India that has access to all of this information, and there's a lot more than that, I'm afraid to say. And numerous parties have tried suing them. It was just a mess, just a total mess. And I contacted the couple right away and I said, hey, look, let me share this page with you that I found on Reddit, and I am so sorry, but I just can't in good conscience allow you to get trapped by these people. And sorry, it still is cracking me up in the background as I'm telling this soap opera of a crazy situation. I mean, it really feels like some sort of wild drama that someone fabricated, but it's not. And so I told them that I don't want them to get taken advantage of any further. I mean, we'd already invested so much time and energy in trying to make this work, and it was a very simple situation. However, the delays for the couple, I mean, they dodged a bullet. And I got a phone call from the supervisor of the woman I'd been working with shortly after I had discovered this Reddit page, and my eyes were opened to the truth of the matter, and I just absolutely let her have it. I mean, I'm someone that is very sensitive to how other people feel, and like I'm always leading with kindness, and like I have had a history of being a people pleaser. So if somebody gets me to the point where I'm angry, then you better believe it's justified. And, you know, I wasn't calling her names, I wasn't yelling, but I raised my voice and I let her know. I was like, this situation, it's bullshit. And I refuse to be further entangled. I'm not paying for rent anymore. It's been very clear for months now that I'm not living there. And, you know, she tried to come back at me with some bureaucratic nonsense. And I said, look, I'm aware of how you people operate as an organization. And if you don't, you know, if you don't release me, then I'm gonna pursue legal action. And I was like so heated that I can't remember every word that I said, but that was the gist of it. And I felt some sort of primordial feminine power surging through me that was like, hey, listen, I'm beyond frustrated at this point. And so she eventually was like sort of cowering, honestly, and said that she would talk to somebody about, okay, it's been 3 months since I let them know, so she wants to get me off the hook. So, you know, pray for me that happens, if you don't mind. And this situation has been such a learning experience for me. And, you know, zooming out a bit, like, what have I learned? And it's easy to point fingers and say, like, these mofos, like, they scammed me. Okay, true. But also it has led me to reflect on how was I feeling when I was first getting into the situation? Like when I first was applying for the apartment and getting ready to sign the lease. Well, going back to that time, I had some subtle, like, I don't know, something about this feels off. There was nothing, you know, logical in my external world that I could really point to that confirmed that, but it was more of like this quiet sort of knowing, like, oh, like, is this real? But I have to say, at the time, I was very desperate to get out of the living situation I had been in, and I just needed to get out of there. So my part in the matter is that I didn't do research. And I jumped into it because I felt very badly that I needed a safe space to move into on my own, like, urgently. And so the moral of the story is that for me, I will often get, you know, these subtle intuitive feelings that can't really explain or rationalize. And there have been, unfortunately, far too many times in my life where I've tried to argue with my intuition with facts, with, you know, my ego coming into play, and giving people the benefit of the doubt, wearing rose-colored glasses. That's why I'm wearing these. I thought it would be kind of funny, and they're cute. So Uh, I have had, I don't want to say an embarrassing amount of situations that have felt like scams, but I am by default quite trusting, quite naive, and basically projecting very positive things onto people. However, my experiences as an adult have taught me to approach things from a more balanced view. Like, everyone starts at a 50%, like 50% chance you're great, 50% chance you're either, an asshole or like somewhere in between an asshole and great. And when I was younger, I felt very frustrated at the fact that I had to surrender my trust in this belief that people care, because that's not how I am. Like, I don't play games with people. I'm very gullible. I don't do well with passive aggressiveness or like hidden meanings. Like, I'm just like, just tell me what's going on. But not everybody operates that way, as I'm sure some of you know. So I'm really grateful to be in my current house. I'm very grateful to be working with a private landlord and not a property management company here. I'm grateful that I asserted myself, I stood up for myself, and I was respectful, through it all. And I'm going to keep believing that things are working out. It's felt difficult the past few weeks, and I think that I'm at the end of a cycle here, and I'm very grateful, and I'm just doing my best. Like today, I'm sort of recovering from all of the communication and the stress of what this situation has been. It's definitely taken a toll on me, mentally, emotionally. And so I'm trying to just chill today. I'm trying to just have fun, because I think that when I'm having fun, things flow more naturally, and that's the state that I want to be in. I want to just surrender to the flow and trust in myself, trust in the universe, and just cultivate joy and gratitude for what is. And if the present moment calls for me to get a little feisty, I'll do it. But you've got to mess up in order to see that side of me. So, warning. So, all of that situation aside, okay, here we go. Sip. I want to talk about more of the things I've been enjoying recently, because that's fun. I have been reading a lot more fiction recently. When I was a young kid, well, I've always been a nerd, but I was super shy, way more shy than I am now when I was a kid. And so reading fantasy books was my comfort. And I have returned to that recently, and it feels so good. It feels so nourishing. It's so engaging for my imagination. And I find it so relaxing at the end of the day, like to cuddle up in bed and light a candle and read about some faraway land where there's, the rules of this reality don't exist. I find it incredible. So fiction is in my book, especially fantasy. And what else? I've been doing a lot of collaborations recently in terms of music, which has been a super joyous process for me. I've been fortunate enough that some people have reached out about having me record vocals on their music, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I just find that there's so much levity and freshness that comes with collaborating with people. You know, as a solo musician, sort of primarily, it's so nice to like be challenged to get out of my head and to collaborate with someone else and enter some new territory. Like, it's great. I learn a lot. And again, being in flow, it feels like I'm there. So if you want to collaborate with me, if you want me to record some vocals on your music or synth or whatever, I got all sorts of things. Just let me know. And I would be happy to talk about that with you. What else? Other little tidbits. I watched a really good movie last night called The Last Showgirl with Pamela Anderson. I highly recommend it. I love Pamela Anderson. I love showgirls in general. And it was a very deep, moving, beautifully made movie, like from all angles. The writing, the acting, character development, the cinematography, the soundtrack, like A+ across the board. So that's my recommendation for a movie. And then TV, I would say Love on the Spectrum. There's a new season, and Righteous Gemstones. So these are just like little things that bring me joy recently. So I'm gonna go to the library later and pick up a new book and see what I can find. But for the time being, I think that's pretty much it. I've probably gabbed for a good while now. And I need to get to mowing my lawn and then probably like taking a bath and maybe spending some time with my plants, taking care of my plants, rearranging them, making sure they're happy, cooking some nice food. It's tourist season, baby. Let's do it. Let's chill. Let's enjoy nature and luxury and self-care, and there's a lot to enjoy. Thanks for spending time with me. I hope you're doing fabulously. I hope you have a great weekend. If it's the weekend when I'm posting this, we'll see. Otherwise, just know that I'm sending you lots of love and my best vibes. Until next time, bye.